Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal video today. Oh my goodness, we've got a really good one. Make sure you stay tuned for the second ear, guys, on this one. It's brilliant. Right, okay, so this lovely gent came through the clinic. He is one of our existing patients, but unfortunately hasn't been able to leave his house due to COVID and other bits and pieces. So seeing him really a lot later than we normally would like to see this patient to get this wax out. He produces a very dry type earwax, which is what you can see here. So we've got the standard size ulnar tube in here, just trying to lift this off, but it's not really budging. So we've got the Jobson horn in here now. So we're just going over the top, very slowly drawing this down the canal, trying to flick this front end of this wax away. On this particular ear canal, what we've got is layers of wax. So if you imagine different blocks of wax set further back, one over the top of the other. So we've got to try and tease these apart first of all, which is where the Jobson horns come in really handy here. And because the wax is quite dry, it does mean it does get a good grip behind it and be able to pull this out quite easily. You can see it's very dark in color, very old wax. Now this particular patient does have very sensitive ear canal, so I'm always really conscious about trying not to press down into the canal too hard, because the patient does find it quite uncomfortable when we do that. But you can see we've got this much deeper section here. I'm just going to use the crocodile forceps on this to try and pull this down. We've got a grip on some of the hairs that are embedded in to that little particular piece of wax there. A little bit of dry skin you can see we're just taking away from the entrance, and the suction tube in here just to draw this top section away. There we are. We're going to go back in now. You can just see that loose little piece here at the bottom. So we're going to try and pull this out, but it's dried onto the canal wall further back. So we can get a good grip at the front end here, but it's the back end that's sort of holding this in. So let's see if we can switch up tools here. Let's go back in with the crocodile forceps. There we are. So we're getting a good grip here. And out that piece comes. And then we can see that darker section just behind. Now what you do find sometimes with these much darker, harder pieces, if you ever looked at a piece of coal, you see there's reflective flecks in it, these kind of shiny flecks in. The wax does look a little bit like that when you start taking this away. So you will see this kind of little flecky, shiny bits in there, which happens sometimes when the wax becomes really dry. We've got a good grip here on the outside edge with the crocodile forceps. Let's see if we can pull this out the rest of the way. So we're not putting any pressure on the canal walls here, literally just pulling this out. There we are. You can see it flicking out of the ear canal, and we'll take a look behind that. There's the eardrum there, looking nice and healthy. It's pearlescent, it's shiny, exactly the way it should look. Okay, so we're on to the second ear. I was really excited about this one. So with this ear canal here, we can see very similar story. Piece of wax in here is dry, it's old, it's dark in color, quite deep in the canal as well. So we're going to go in with a Jobson horn so far. So remember guys, we've used microsuction, we've used Jobson horn, we use crocodile forceps. We're going to try and do the full set for you today if we can. So you can see we've got just over the top here. As I push down on this piece of wax, it's obvious that it's not there. You can see a little movement there. Patient was finding that a little bit uncomfortable as we move this forwards. So I'm taking a look a little bit deeper in, and I can see I've got this little gap. So we've got the Rosen inserter in here now. So we're just going to go. We've got a very small gap. So sometimes it's great to get the Rosen inserter just behind it to pull this down. But what you'll see is as we pull this forwards, the end of the Rosen inserter is very narrow. It's just pulling through. The wax is so dry and crumbly, it's just pulling and scraping along the top. So let's try with a St. Bart's hook this time, because it's got a slightly wider sort of jaw on it there. So as we can go behind, we can drop right behind and draw this forwards. As we pull this forward, you can see that front section is just folded out and folded away here. So I'm just going to push that down out of the way with the St. Bart's hook. Then we're going to go through these little hairs in a second. There we are. And then we're just going to see if we can drop over the ridge at the top of this wax, aim a little bit further in. There we go. Now we've bit. We can see it just start to move out. Now it does crash into the camera now, so you don't get to see this piece coming out, but don't fear, I've actually picked it up so you can see it. This is what came out. So this piece of wax was basically from the front to the back of the ear canal. This was one long piece. You can see why the patient was finding this a bit uncomfortable when I put a bit of pressure on the top, because it was going the full length of the canal. Look at the size of that piece of wax. That's actually the St. Bart's hook you can see we've embedded in there so you can get a good look at it. It was huge. Both myself and the patient were very shocked at that one. But when you take a look behind this now, you can see there's actually remnants. There's little bits still left over in here. So it's not all the wax that's come away. So we've gone back in now with the microsuction, just to grab these little extra pieces around the outside edge. And there we are, just lifting. We've got this piece right at the bottom of the ear canal here, and it's really dry and perfectly formed to the shape of the canal. Now, you remember what I said about this patient feeling a little bit uncomfortable if we put pressure on the bottom of this, on the canal walls here, which is why I'm electing to use the microsuction to lift rather than Jobson horn to push down and draw backwards, because that would be quite uncomfortable and this patient wouldn't tolerate it. So we're just lifting now from the base of the canal, slowly unpeeling everything here. There we are, very methodically working our way down, slowly and gently lifting the wax off the base of this canal. There we are, you can just start it, there we go. Now it's starting to move. It's taking that dry piece from the outside edge as well. There we are, so that's all the bottom section gone. And we've got this one darker piece much, much further in. So let's go and get a grip on this now with the suction tube. Very, very gently here, lifting. You can see I'm trying just to nudge it, just to get it off the canal wall. There we are. Out that piece. There's another piece just behind that, so we're just going to grab that section now. There we are, you can see that's the last piece. There we go, it's nice and mobile. Out that comes through those little hairs. There we go. And we'll just do a little tiny bit of tidying up just of these little pieces around the outside edge here. And there's one chunky bit just stuck. You can just about see it in the bottom corner. There we go. Got a good grip there. And there's another piece there. You can just see this working down. Perfect. Out that comes. And there's the eardrum looking nice and shiny, nice and healthy. You can see a little bit of dryness to the canal. These little tiny flakes around the outside edge as well. This patient has particularly dry skin. Look at that. Well, we got 5.5 centimeters. I reckon if we budge that, we're close to 6 centimeters there. So we've got 2.5, I reckon that's going to be 2.5 inches, maybe just over 2.5 inches. That one plug on its own, 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch long. Don't forget the ear canal itself is only an inch. It's 2.5 centimeters in length in most people. So this was going the full length of that ear canal. So I think that's one of the biggest plugs I've ever taken out of anybody's ears. I don't think I've done anything bigger than that. I may have done one very similar in size, but I think that might have just took the biscuit. I think that might have just got the biggest one. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. We had everything in there. We had suction, we had crocodile forceps, St. Bart's hook, Jobson horn, Roseland inserter. We had pretty much everything bar the kitchen sink in that ear canal to get that one out. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did voicing it over. As you can tell, I'm going a bit hoarse. I shouldn't have spoken too much. And as always guys, have a good weekend. I shall see you again on Monday. Take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. Oh, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe. Give us a like as well. That would be awesome. Okay guys, see you soon. Bye.